Been ready.
Well, in that case.
We're born ready.
Ooh, $10.
Don't you love that?
I'd like to welcome everybody to Let's Talk Racing. Tonight we got Valerie Wilson, Al Pearce, Matt Carter, and myself, Roger Brehm, hanging in the background. You get to see all their lovely faces and not mine. Don't say nothing, Al.
Do what?
Okay, good.
It's a little delay. You said, okay, good. All right.
So, we were just talking about Chad Knaus.
Yes. Okay, Dover, you obviously went. Did you go?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I watched the first little bit of it and saw Jimmy Johnson get his whole right front end. Well, no, the right wheel. That was the splitter. Went.
Well, the right front ball joint broke.
Ball joint, that's it.
Apparently on a parade lap. I don't know.
What? I know.
When you
right?
drive these race cars,
Yeah.
we don't. Can something break going that slowly, I wonder?
Anything could happen for sure. That's for sure.
Had to have been bad to begin with.
Possibly.
But you would think when they pushed it out there, I don't know, I'm just surprised that somebody didn't
check it.
That Jimmy didn't feel it when he wasn't in the car when he pushed it out there.
Yeah.
Plus, rolling around slow anyway. I mean, it's just, you've heard the saying, a 10-cent part took out a race car.
Well,
ball
lower
joints-
ball joints more than 10 cents,
Yeah.
but yeah.
40, 50 bucks, but still,
Yeah.
compared to the cost of the whole freaking car,
Right.
that's a cheap part to lose.
Yeah.
Well, luckily we get to talk to the car engineer at 7:45, so we can find out exactly
Who
Maybe.
screwed the pooch?
what happened. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he does.
Oh, I'm sure he knows.
Oh,
by
I'm
now.
sure he knows
sure he
something. Yeah, exactly. Oh
Now,
my.
I'm wondering, will that put Cliff into position in Chad's place?
Well,
Who?
That's a good
Would
question.
that move Cliff to Chad's place?
Oh, no, they've already named a new crew chief.
Oh,
oh, they have.
Yeah, the guy named, first name escapes me, Manningham. He's Elliott Sadler's crew chief at JR Motorsports.
okay.
He's been in the Hendrick for years. He was a car chief.
Mm-hmm.
He may have been Jeff Gordon's car chief for a while. But they named a whole bunch of new crew chiefs today.
Wasn't that something?
Chad's going to go over and work with William Byron. The only
The 88 car.
he'll be rookie of the year at Hendrick, but hadn't run very well.
Right.
Well,
He does need some help.
see you, Roger. Roger's
He
going
leaves
again.
again.
Lock the door.
I've already done that.
Oh, you did?
I locked it already.
He's like,
Anyway.
anyway.
And the other point is that people are all, I certainly don't have any inside information, but
Yeah.
I'm not terribly surprised that this happened. Like we said earlier, was it the last lap at Charlotte or the first lap at Dover that started
did this, or
the whole
maybe-
thing?
About a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or has it been coming on for a while now? Because, they've been arguing for quite a bit. I mean, if you listen to their their radios, if you're a true 48 fan, and you can hear that stuff when they're actually running. And they've been arguing quite a bit, especially last year too. Especially the end of last year.
Yeah.
Again, you drive these things and we don't. Do drivers second guess crew chiefs late at night at Anna's having pizza, or do crew chiefs do crew chiefs say on the radio, "I told you what to do, and you're not doing it right"? Is it generally done, Matt, in quiet, private little meetings, or
Yeah, it's
sometimes
quiet,
those
but I mean,
things-
for the most part, I mean, you have to have that bond of trust. I mean, good communication between each other on anything that happens. mean, I've never dealt with anything like that. I mean, everything has been straight up, great communication.
Well, I can imagine.
But if something does go sideways, take a day or two, or you get over it quickly, because you can't carry it forward.
Yeah,
can you?
no. I mean, usually if something happens, we'll talk about it the next day.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
We'll discuss it and try to figure out exactly what happened and go from there.
No, it's like my dad and I. Usually, if emotions are so high and so tense, usually it's a day or two.
Yeah.
And then we talk and we're fine.
Yeah.
Things smooth over and
Oh yeah.
it's good. Yeah. But it does take a lot, and Chad's got to be frustrated.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
I mean, especially, I love Jimmy Johnson. I love how how good he is, and how he possesses himself as he's such a cool cat under the media and the way he drives. But he's been kind of chaotic, crazy driving lately.
Yeah.
I mean, just not getting that Camaro under control.
Yeah.
He's driving it the way he drove his last car.
Yeah.
And you can't.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be frustrating when you go from winning every year after year
Right.
and contending for the championship to not doing so well. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Not
it's a lot of
handling
pressure
that.
on him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Roger, the guy's name is Kevin Mendering. Mendering. Kevin Mendering. Again, he worked within Hendrick at JR Motorsports.
Cool.
And he's going to take over for Chad, who's going to the William Byron car.
Mendering, Kevin.
I see Roger's out there behind the screen crapping up stuff, so we don't know what we're looking at.
He's going to type in Kevin, and we're going to figure out what it
I
looks
try
like.
not to look at him as much as I have to.
Kevin. There he is. Well, we'll know more about him, I'm sure, in the next hour or two.
Yeah.
He doesn't get on Facebook much, that's for sure.
No, definitely not.
2015. Oh, jeez.
People forget
I don't blame him.
People forget that the year after Ray Evernham left Jeff Gordon won the championship with Robbie Loomis, crew chief. So,
yeah.
And Rick Hendrick did not get where he is making really bad decisions.
Exactly.
He made a few bad ones.
Well, yeah.
But
he's
he got rid of Kyle Busch maybe a little bit too early, as things have turned out. But I think Rick probably sat down with his whole little cadre on Monday or Tuesday and said, "Boys, we got to do something here." So,
and think about Chad Canals with the '88 car with William Byron. He has not done very well.
Yeah.
And I bet Chad can mold him, because he really hasn't done good, as well as to be expected.
Right.
I mean, they were expecting him to do a way lot better in that car.
Yeah.
Here's a question for
Matt.
particularly Matt to consider. If Johnson had made the pass at Charlotte and won the race and made the playoffs, would Chad be gone?
That's a good question.
Be awfully hard to fire him.
Yeah, I don't.
Be awfully hard to fire him after.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really know.
I guess we'll find out from Cliff and see if it has been in the works, or.
Well, even if it was in the works, you kind of wonder whether they might have waited.
Like, would they? Yeah.
Waited a couple of weeks or something.
Yeah, for it to actually go out to the whole press and. Ooh. Yeah, that might be kind of.
I'll tell you who I feel sorry for.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the Levine Racing team that announced their new driver today, and they were going to switch from Ford to Toyota, and all that news has just been completely blown out of the water by this deal.
Yeah.
Bob Levine and his family, and Matt D. What's his name, Roger? You know him.
Matt Benedetto?
Benedetto.
Oh.
Okay.
Glad you said
Well,
it
you
right.
know, if that wants to make it easier on you.
Yeah, he gets absolutely swamped by the news of Canals leaving Johnson, so
Yeah.
you kind of feel bad for those people.
So they made an announcement. I didn't even know, and
Announced it this morning, I think around noontime or so, and then
that's
the
crazy.
Johnson thing came out around 5 o'clock maybe.
Yeah,
So,
I say it wasn't that long ago for that came
Yeah.
out.
so they had 5 hours to be in the spotlight, and then all of a sudden, gone.
Wow.
I don't know if you're keeping up with the screen there, Matt, but you do have a few
Oh.
people
Oh yeah.
giving you some info and
I'm trying
everything.
to log in. It's like being a pain.
Yeah, you can close back
Continue.
up right up in the middle of the show.
Let's see.
Come on.
David Michael Bowen. Ricky Barbary.
Barbary.
Hey Matt.
Barbary.
Hi Dwayne.
What's this about?
Or Dwayne.
A rock star show. Is that you?
Well, it's a little inside joke. I got a new fire suit, and the guys, they think it's a little flashy, so they call me a rock star.
Oh, that's
so,
fine.
yep.
Oh Lord.
Oh, here, Dwayne's got his 2 cents for you, Al. He said the kid will probably listen to Chad. Jimmy is probably just getting hard-headed.
Well, he didn't. Yeah, it didn't know any
Well.
better.
Yeah. Well, he's used to what he's used to, and
Robbie Parker's joining in there on you, Matt.
Yeah, I see.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us on the show. If y'all got any
That
questions
is
you want to
so
throw at
funny.
Matt or Valerie or even Al, Al knows everything about racing, so I mean it's going to hard to stump him.
Did you go to Martinsville?
That was in Charlotte.
Oh, did you go? You went to the road
Yeah, they
walk.
ran the same day.
Oh, that's
Well,
right.
Charlotte was Sunday, Martinsville was Saturday night. And like I said, like I told people last Wednesday night here,
It's crazy.
the Charlotte Roval show. Did you watch it on TV?
Yeah, I watched it.
It could, to me, and I was there, and the atmosphere and the feeling, it couldn't have been better.
Yeah.
Not just the last lap, not the 13 car wreck that set up the last lap. The whole day, from
That's
start to
awesome.
finish, people were psyched.
Yeah, that's good. That's what the sport needed.
And I wrote something for Autoweek saying that at a time when NASCAR fans, they all want something different.
Yeah.
Hey, we want a dirt track race at Eldora. Okay, fine. We don't want any more 500-mile Saturday night races. Well, okay. We want this. We want that. Marcus Smith found what they wanted, or found something, and ran a road race in the infield,
Yep.
and people loved it.
Yep.
People loved it. And they complained at the beginning. I remember distinctly they complained about it. They bitched and moaned.
Oh,
This
about the
place is
road
too.
track
And their concern was that the infield portion wasn't wide enough,
Yeah.
because they were basically just surface roads to get campers and fans in the infield.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's all they were. Well, some of it was made for racing, but
Yeah,
man, after it was over, they loved it.
Yeah.
They were thrilled to death.
that's
It
cool.
was a good show.
So, and they have not announced whether it will be back next year, but you got to figure. Man, they can't do it one time
No,
and then
right. They'll
they can't do it one time and then scrub it.
And then
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
If it did that well and the fans responded that
Yeah.
well, they should bring it back.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Ah,
Keep rocking on it, yeah.
who said that?
I did.
Grandma and I are watching Hey Matt, Cindy. That was cute. Is that a family member,
Yeah, that's my
Matt?
mom,
Is
yeah,
that your
yeah.
mom? Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta figure it. You're like, oh God, they're embarrassing me.
Hey Al, are they taking out the ability to adjust the track bar now?
She's talking to me. What?
Track bar.
Track bar.
Are they
Taking out the
taking
track
the
bar.
ability of
Yeah, you're taking the track bar adjustment out of And the drivers asked for it, apparently. I don't know why.
Well,
the last time I drove Talladega, I had mine and I loved it, so I don't. Oh, no.
Well, wasn't, Ruben's calling in.
Who?
Ruben Garcia, K&N.
Okay.
Let's talk racing.
Hello, this is Ruben.
Hi, Ruben. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
Doing well. You have a whole house full here. How's it
Nice,
going?
nice.
Where are you at now?
I'm in Mexico.
Ah, I kind of figured that because we have a bit of a delay. So we've talked
Yeah.
to you before. You're running K&N, correct?
That's correct. I'm running I ran the full K&M schedule, and I'm running the full NASCAR Mexico.
Very
schedule.
good. Ah, if you don't mind, could you give our listeners a little bio?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I'm from Mexico City, Mexico. I'm 22 years old. I've been running the NASCAR K&M Pro Series for the last 3 years, as well as being part of the NASCAR Drive for Diversity program, running for Rep Racing. Before that, I started racing in the NASCAR Peak Mexico Series. I won the championship there in 2015, and that's how like my professional career started. I started racing when I was 5, go-karts, then moved up to small touring cars, then moved up to the development series for the NASCAR Mexico Series when I turned 14, and then when I turned 15, I did my first NASCAR Mexico Series race.
That's amazing. Now I know you've run at Langley Speedway. That's our home track here, and we've met you a few times, which is awesome. How did you like that here? How's the track here compared to a lot of other tracks that you've run?
Well, I feel like Langley's a pretty unique place. Where I come from, we don't have tracks with that size. We usually run bigger tracks. So I remember the very first time I ran there on a late model. It was something very different for me. It's a very challenging place. Since the straightaways are so short, you feel like you're always turning. So that was something new for me. I remember running there, the Denny Hamlin Showdown, getting the chance to run there with Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, some other high-level drivers, and it was a really, really unique experience for me. So I have some pretty good experience and memories from that place.
Ruben, how much difference was it at Dover over the weekend? You guys were supposed to run on Friday afternoon, and you got rained out, and you had to run Saturday morning. Were y'all allowed to adjust your car, go back on the grid, and do things based on it was a early morning race, the track had gotten rained on, or did you have to start at Dover what you had when you ended qualifying on Friday?
Yes, that's what we had to do, because the cars were impound after qualifying,
Oh, okay.
and they stayed like that all the way till Saturday morning. The only thing we could adjust was a little bit of air pressures and the track bar. But there was not major adjustments that were made to the car, and the track, in fact, was very different because we were supposed to race Friday night after the
Cup qualifying.
Xfinity practices,
Yeah.
and a Cup practice, and a Cup qualifying, and a K&M practice. So there was a lot of rubber in the track by that time. And then with all the rain, all the rubber got washed out, and we started the race with a very, very green track. And I think that's something that changed a lot, the balance on the cars, and changed the race, how the race was going to happen.
You pretty much had everybody covered. You ran pretty well, didn't you?
Yes, yes. I
Yeah.
didn't know how good we were. I'm happy to say that, but I didn't know how good we were before the race, because, in practice I was very consistent, but we were lacking that a little extra speed to make that one fast lap during practice or qualifying. So I really didn't know exactly what we had. I never made more than 5 consecutive laps during practice, so my long run speed was kind of like unknown for me. And as soon as we took off after 10, 15 laps, I felt like my car was pretty decent. Then I started catching the leader, finally got the lead, and that clean air made a whole difference on my car.
How much money did you win in the casino on Friday night?
Unfortunately, I didn't have that much luck on Friday night. I went there with my buddies, my teammates, and just hang out a little bit, but I came back with less money than the mom when I walk in.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask you one more question, then I'm going to shut up. About 20 years ago, maybe. Well, now if you're 22, you wouldn't remember. You certainly don't remember when the Xfinity Series came to Mexico City, do you? You don't remember that road race?
Yes, I do. I was little, but I do remember. Actually, my dad ran the 2009.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you remember that race? You remember maybe it kind of inspired you to maybe try to get to NASCAR? Or was your path already set?
It was kind of set. I would say that was important in my life on my decision on deciding what type of motorsports I was trying to pursue. I have some really good memories from that race. Of course, my dad racing. I remember Juan Pablo Montoya winning, and it was a good event overall for me. But I would say the biggest impact in me was when I saw the NASCAR Mexico Series became a reality. And I went and watched NASCAR Mexico races, and I started to get more involved with the stock car racing format, oval racing, and all that kind of stuff that was kind of new for me. I was very little, but I was in Mexico many years ago. The biggest culture was the open wheel racing style. So everything was about road courses, everything was about Formula One and IndyCar, and all, because IndyCar and Champ Car used to go to Mexico as well. So that was like more the kind of racing I used to watch. But then when I got that close contact with NASCAR, I realized that was what I would like to do.
Okay. Are you racing this weekend, or do you have the weekend off?
Not off. I'm not racing, but I'm a special guest of the Pan American race, which is like an old school race, very popular in Mexico, with really, really old school cars from like the 50s and the 60s. And I'm the special guest for the event, so I'll be doing that this weekend. My sponsor, HDI, has like a racing day event, so I'll be doing some track stuff without being on an official race.
Because isn't there an NFL pro football game in Mexico City this weekend?
You know, that even being from Mexico, I'm not a huge soccer fan.
Yeah, no, but the National Football League, I thought there was a professional football game this weekend in Mexico City. I know they're playing at some point this year. May not be this weekend, but I'm sure you'd know about it if they were playing.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's this weekend. I remember going to watch the game last year or 2 years ago, and it was a really cool event. But now that you're saying that, I'm going to double check and see if I have time to go watch that game again.
Oh, okay.
He's like, I'm going to have to double check on that one. He likes soccer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everybody likes soccer.
Yeah, who doesn't like soccer? Yeah. Or hockey. Yeah. I'm a hockey fan. Yeah, that's awesome.
Ask him some questions.
Matt, do you have any questions for Ruben? I know you've seen him drive.
Yeah, you said you've run late models, and you're running K&N now. What's more fun, driving in the K&N where it's a little bit more serious, or running the late models?
That's a tough question. One of the races where I had the most fun this year was the Denny Hamlin Showdown. Because, it was a race where you have nothing to lose and a lot to gain. So I just went out there and tried to make my best, had a lot of fun. I started on the back and then found myself running inside the top 10, really close to the top 5 there at the end of the race. So it was really, really cool. The late model is more like I would say like a party where you go and enjoy yourself. And the K&N is more like your actual job, your professional job.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about the late model racing. It's more like you're bouncing and banging off each other, and K&N is more straight and narrow.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah, and I really like going with the K&N cars to the big tracks, like Dover, Iowa, New Hampshire. When we go to those big places, we spend time with the Cup guys in the same weekend. So it's really, really cool. I really enjoy driving the K&N car on big tracks. Sometimes I feel like we go to smaller tracks than what the car is made for, but and that's when we do that, that's the moment where you actually enjoy the late models, because those cars are really, really fun on short tracks.
Oh, absolutely. And you're having such a good year this year. What is your plans for next season?
I really hope I could have an answer now. I'm really trying hard to find and finalize my plans for next year. I'm trying to work hard on find some funding to go run at the national level, and just trying to put stuff together for next year. Sometimes a little bit hard, because every step you go further into the NASCAR ladder, things get more complicated, and it's harder, obviously, to keep moving up. But we're working hard. I think if we figure out something in a couple of months, we'll know. I hope that how good we ran this year on the K&N Series and how good we're running on the NASCAR Mexico Series will pay off for something in 2019.
Ruben, if we promise on our life not to tell anybody where we learned this information, could you yeah, I promise I won't tell anybody who told me. Where is Daniel Suarez going to end up next year? And
I don't know.
I bet you know.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I really thought he was going to that 95 car, but today I saw Matti Benedetto is driving it.
Yeah.
I've heard some people say he's trying to figure out something with Stuart Haas. I don't know how easy it is for him to move from a Toyota team to a Ford, and maybe the sponsors he has can bring something to Stuart Haas, or I really don't know. I to be honest with you, I thought he was one of the candidates to go to that 95 car, and it surprised me that they announced that today.
Yeah. Well, maybe Mr. Slim, maybe Carlos has some ideas and he can find a ride for Daniel. I'm sure Daniel will have a ride next year. A 41 car might be a pretty good spot right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think in this era, the Stuart Haas team has figured out some stuff. They're running really good. They showed that at Dover, how at the end of the race, there was one moment where they were running first, second, third, fourth. So that 41 car has a lot to offer to Daniel's career. Also, I think that a lot of drivers know that seat is available. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people trying to put something together to getting that seat. So we'll see. I think he's going to announce something soon. But he's very quiet right now. I really don't know what are his plans right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah.
Again, I will not tell anybody that you said you did not know.
Too funny.
That's it.
Well, we wish you definitely good luck next year in your season, and hopefully you'll be moving up. Would you please give us a shout out to your sponsors and obviously Rev Racing?
Yeah, Rev Racing, the great team behind me. We have Max Siegel supporting us a lot, Castle's Back Power as well in our cars, and the Honda generators.
Great. Well, we really appreciate you taking time out to call us all the way from Mexico City, and hope that you have a great season. That's for sure.
I got to figure out how to call your number.
Roger said he has to figure out how to call your number.
His number's like 15 numbers long on his phone.
Oh my, that's worse than Canada.
Yeah.
Well, Roger, there's a country code involved.
I know.
Well,
Gotta have
well,
something to joke about on that.
yeah,
All right.
definitely. Well,
Ruben, thank you so much.
yes. Thank you, and we
Sure,
will.
thank you for
we
your
will.
time.
Yeah, we'll see you next season. Let's hope.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll
Thank
work
you.
hard on that.
Okay.
All right. Take
right.
care.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
See, the whole deal with
He's such a great guy.
the whole deal with Daniel Suarez is that his patron, his sugar daddy,
Yeah.
is arguably the richest man in the world.
Right.
He's got more money than you do. Believe me, he's
The sponsor.
he has got
Air,
millions of
yeah.
billions, and he is filthy rich.
Yeah.
And he's the guy that got Carl Edwards to get out of that car. He's the guy who paid Joe Gibbs to take Suarez. And I suspect that Carlos Slim, which sounds like a poker player,
Yeah, it does.
Carlos
Carlos
Goes back in
Slim.
the old days.
It does.
But I got a feeling Mr. Slim will have something to
He's
say
got to.
about where he ends up.
I mean, I was
Maybe both of them.
surprised.
You don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe both of them.
I was surprised
They
that.
just call them gazillionaires. That ain't no
Yeah.
number for them, you know.
How many millions would you need to run
He's like, just
Lots
give
of
me.
plenty.
say a
of
late model? Say you want to take a late model and
Oh,
oh, Mike Embry.
oh, let's please talk to him.
Hold on. Hello, Mike.
He's probably got something to say.
I'm doing my TV show. You got anything good you want to contribute?
Yes.
We just talked to Ruben Garcia, and we promised that if we didn't tell anybody, would he tell us where Daniel Suarez was going? And he swore he didn't know, so we took him at his word.
And this is our new crew chief for Jimmy Johnson.
Okay. Have you got any more news on the Chad Canal situation? Okay. The question I've got is, we've been discussing it here, would he be leaving if they had won Charlotte? And the other question is, what was the tipping point? Was it the last lap at Charlotte or the first lap at Dover?
So we can hear it.
Yeah, probably so. Okay, Mike, I'll call you later on. Bye.
Bye, Mike.
Hi.
I didn't know he's calling about something altogether different.
Yeah.
Wow.
The
So
question thing, you should have just, hey, call the number real quick.
Yeah.
exactly, like you
Yeah.
would want to put him on the spot like
All
that.
right.
He said he did not think.
And we got to let everybody know who you were talking
Oh,
to.
Mike Embry from Spartanburg, a good dear friend of mine. Used to work for NASCAR Scene. Used to work for USA Today. Used to work for Autoweek. Now he works for Wofford College,
Okay.
of all places.
Wow.
He says he did not think that Canals would be gone if they had won Charlotte
Oh.
and had advanced to the playoffs.
Oh, wow.
And then when I asked him which of the two moments tipped it the other way, he thought the first lap at Dover probably hurt more than the last lap at Charlotte. So
And that necessarily wasn't Jimmy's fault, that, right? I mean,
well, it's
at Dover?
you know,
But-
it's.
or did he?
Did you ever play any sports in high school or anywhere?
No, not really. Not in
Okay.
high school. No.
The point I'm getting at was he could have been the greatest football player known to man. But if he did something wrong that cost his team a big win, the coach would get fired, maybe,
Yeah.
and maybe not him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Charlotte.
so,
you
you
said
know-
Third
Dover.
place kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, Lord, those guys have been missing them all over the place. It would be like Rick Hendricks saying, you know, I can't fire Jimmy, but I can fire Chad.
Yeah, he's
Or move him around.
Yeah.
I can't move
Or,
Jimmy,
yeah.
but I can move Chad. So,
He's bringing in the big bucks.
yeah.
Anyway, our next segment is here with Matt Carter. Matt Carter drives the modifieds out at Langley and probably a few other places. Give a little background on yourself.
Well, I've been racing modified since, I guess, about 2010, 2011. I started racing in 2007 in a wolf truck, and then I got a modified and been in the modifieds ever since. I really enjoy racing in the modified division. It's not a lot of politics. It's not a lot of rules. It's a very fun, competitive division. Really enjoy it.
Now you won Saturday night's race.
Yeah, we recently won the Modified Madness 100.
100 laps.
Which was a great accomplishment. You know, we've had a pretty successful year. We just had some bad luck here and there, and just have not been able to get a win and up until this past weekend. But
and you managed to do that over top of Sean.
yes, we did.
Yeah,
Yes, we did. I'm very proud of that.
We were just talking about that before. Now you had a break in between, and that was at lap
65.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we had a plan to, as soon as they dropped the green flag, we were just going to ride up until lap 75, lap 80, and it's exactly what we did. And, you know, with 20 to go, we had plenty of tire left, and we took care of business.
That's what. So the tire maintenance was a main issue.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Too.
With these cars, you have such big motors and such small tires, and it's very easy to spin the wheels. It's very easy to upset the car, and tire management was definitely the key.
Now at the 65 lap time on the break, what position were you starting at? Then?
Third.
Third?
We qualified third and maintained the third position up until lap 65, and then basically we kind of drove a little faster, you know, right there on the restart of lap 65. So we just
took the lead win.
And then
we took the lead
Yeah.
at lap 70 and
That's
led from lap 70 to lap 100.
Now, when you said once you got out front, you got some clean air. It seemed to drive.
Oh yeah,
away
yeah. I mean,
a little bit.
once I could hammer it down, I mean, the car was
You were
really,
like-
really good. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best it's ever driven.
Wow, it's amazing to get out front of one of the best drivers that. How many 10 championships? And I
Sean.
think he's online now
He's
watching.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, Sean's a very tough guy to
Yes,
beat. I
he
mean,
is,
it's a
yeah.
great accomplishment when you can even run against him.
right.
But yeah, Sean's a good friend. He's a very, very cool guy to race with. I mean, I trust him. He's not gonna. I mean, he might
Oh yeah.
knock your fender off, you know, but he's not gonna wreck you or anything. But
There's a little bumping and banging always.
yeah, which I mean,
but
that's racing. That's expected. So.
But once you got out front, you felt that clean air and your car handled.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Way better.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What a great win.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, for
So you took down the king.
Woohoo!
yeah, I guess you could
Took
say
down
that.
the king.
And the-
I am the greatest. I am the greatest, Mr. Cosell.
He is, huh?
Mr. Cosell, I'm
I'm
telling you,
driving by
I am
you.
the greatest.
Tell him to come on in. Sean said I'm driving by you guys right now. Come on in,
He's
Sean.
Come on in.
Come on in here.
Yeah,
He is
exactly.
I am the greatest. Sonny Liston is a big old ugly dude, and so is Sean Maluzzo. I took down the king.
That's right.
That's what you should have done.
I'm like dying.
I'm doing it because Marty's not. Marty does it way better than I do.
Oh, that is so.
Although Marty's lost his
funny.
voice.
Yeah, he
Marty-
seems to
Marty
be
can't
getting
talk.
a little
Still ain't got it back there.
raspy. Poor
Ain't no
guy.
chance of having some throat issues in the
I-
cord box with the cancer or anything, is it?
But Marty used to say, I am the king. Sonny Liston, you are just a big old ugly man. I'm the prettiest thing. And you don't see no scars on my face. Sonny Liston, I'm going to take you down.
You should have heard him and Al were doing one night on the show here, and he called up Marty, and they just started going at
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Oh, that's
5 minutes
hilarious.
soliloquy going on with those guys. They were just getting at it.
Mhm.
Sean
But
just said
seriously.
Matt did a great job in that race, and he's very proud of you for winning. If I could not, yeah, that's and that tells you a lot right there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, with 10 championships that he did win, and this is the last race that
Last race, yeah.
and just think, I mean, you go out on top.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right. Well, we're thinking about running Kinley in the Thanksgiving Classic.
Are
so
you
we'll-
okay?
we'll
is that
probably-
the Southern National?
Southern National,
Yeah,
yeah.
somebody
I
asked
think somebody
that
was asking,
question.
yeah.
Yep.
Dennis
Yes.
Siebert, I think, keeps saying hi to you.
Yeah, he does.
So, very good.
Yeah.
Well, at least you go out there and have fun. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
heard
yeah,
Kenley
definitely.
is a cool place
Yeah,
to
we
go.
ran Kinley. I guess it was 2 or 3 years ago. First time I'd ever been there, and we finished third. It's very fun place, very fast track.
Got some banking that we do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Banking, that's only an Old Point or
Right.
Bank
Yeah.
of
I mean, you
Ain't
can
none at Langley.
you can carry the speed in the corners there. I mean, it's a pretty fun place.
So where else have you driven at?
Just Kenley.
Just
Just
kidding.
Kenley?
Kenley and Langley. Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. Next year we'll probably. The plan is going to be to run Langley and Dominion. So.
Oh, very good.
Yep.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Does Dominion have any more races left where you can go?
You know, I'm not even sure. I haven't even paid attention to their schedule.
Because you're going to have another
Sure.
track.
Yeah, I mean the problem with Dominion is they run a different tire, and trying to run two different tires
Balance
is,
out that.
you know, it's
Time for a computer. You track all that stuff.
right.
Yeah. Well, with the setup, is the car set up
Well, I
different
mean, I think
with the tires?
I mean, the only thing that I would probably change as of right now, if I went down there, I would probably change the gear, and then just see what we got with the setup from Langley.
Yeah.
The camber.
So yeah, I mean, because we went down to Kenley with the same exact setup from Langley, and we were pretty successful there.
Oh, good.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've been
Are you from here?
Yes, from originally from Gloucester.
Gloucester, okay.
But you live in
Gloucester.
We live in Newport News. Yeah.
Gloucester.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in Newport News?
In the Denby area.
Denby area.
Mm-hmm.
Not far from Al.
Oh, a long way from Al.
Aren't you in
I live in
Newtown?
Hilton Village. That's
Oh, you're
a long way from
yeah.
Denby.
Hop on Warwick and go.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Denby is like totally
yeah, you get on
different
Warwick
from
and keep going, you'll end up in
Hilton.
Los Angeles. Yeah, but, you know,
Oh, that's too funny.
yeah, it's a
That's
long
true.
way. I used to live in Denby when I was at Fort Eustis back in the day, but now I'm down near the river bridge. Where do you work?
I work at Lee Bear Mining Equipment.
Where? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Lee Bear Mining
Oh,
Equipment.
yeah.
Yeah.
You build a big,
Yeah, we manufacture the world's largest
big
dump
trucks?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
That place is huge.
See, they should let you take
It's
one
on
out to
Chestnut.
Langley one night and do a lap.
You might mess up the track.
I was
Yeah,
just
probably
thinking,
so.
You
Bill
probably,
would probably be like, no,
well,
thanks.
you probably couldn't get through the gate either.
Probably
Yeah.
not.
Well,
no.
true that. Yeah.
Unless they take some sections down.
Yeah, really.
Too funny.
Now, you should ask Al how he got into...
Oh, Roger, shut up.
Go ahead, finish.
Good.
No,
I'm like,
no,
what?
I'll tell you later. I'm not going to tell you
Oh,
later.
he said, I don't even know.
Oh, once he starts, you'll
Well,
know.
put it. Let me just tell him this. I started doing this before you were born.
Oh,
I don't even know how old you are,
Well, how old
but you're
do I-
not.
how
You're
old
not
do I look?
51.
No, I'm definitely not
Okay.
51.
So I've been doing this as a reporter longer than you've been alive.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave it at that.
I remember you covering Dale Senior's.
Oh, yeah.
When Langley had
Yeah,
Dale
eulogy,
Senior's
yeah.
eulogy, that was amazing. You probably don't even remember that, do you?
No.
No. Yeah.
I used to cover the Hampton Cup Regatta when the paper covered it.
Yeah,
Back in the
right?
day.
That, I know you did. You did my first article. You were like, woman prefers power boats over stock cars.
Yeah.
Because I raced in that
Daily
powder
Press
puff.
basically ignored it this year again.
I know. And
They didn't do anything.
even the TV crew were out there and everything. And this was my last race.
Uh-oh.
That's it. We're done. We retired.
Are you retired?
Yes,
Really?
yes. After 16 years of me driving, and the boat's about 30-some years old, and the bones are, ow, oh, you heard that? A little old. It's about time.
Coming apart at the seams.
Yeah, my dad, the engine builder, crew chief, and boat builder, he's up in the 70s, and he'll be like,
The boat's almost as old as he is.
right? And he'll be like, don't you tell my age.
Too late.
It's
We
getting
won't
to
tell
that.
nobody, right?
It's getting to that point where time is time. It's
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Just tell Sean Beluza that.
Uh,
It's time. I think
It's
it's time
time,
for him to
Sean.
retire.
He's watching. You know daggone well he's watching. It's time, Sean.
Dennis
Nah.
wanted to know if you were going to try some dirt racing in the modified.
If the opportunity came, sure.
That's right.
Definitely.
Al, you started with Daily Press the year I was born.
69. Yep.
Wow.
Yep, good year.
And it was just at the track they were racing at, too.
Hmm.
Dover.
Let's get.
Wow.
Let me
He's
have.
like, somebody else said that. It wasn't
no.
me.
Cliff should be getting ready to call shortly, so I was going to
Yeah.
save you.
He's like,
Okay.
oh, Sean said depends. Get it? Depends. I totally got that, Sean.
Well,
If I got some leftovers, I can send them.
until this
that was
mystery
good.
guest calls in,
Oh, Lord. Mystery guest.
let me ask you a question. Autoweek's doing a big project coming out in January or December about what NASCAR will look like in the decade of the 20s, 2020.
2020. All right.
And one of the issues we're going to deal with is scheduling.
Yeah.
Where do they need to maybe not go,
Ooh.
and where do they need to maybe go? And is an international track in the works? Is a dirt track in the works? This is for Cup now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do they not need to go twice? I mean, I've got my
Truthfully,
special.
I'd like to see them being able to go to places they haven't gone in a while
Yeah.
and add that in. And then
Like
take away-
where?
Well,
Rockingham.
Okay.
I'd love for
Rockingham,
him to go back to
definitely.
Rockingham.
I would say Langland, but we know that would
Yeah.
never happen.
Well, not for a cup.
There would have to be a massive increase of
Reload.
hospital
Oh no,
space.
be realistic.
I know.
Right, right. Not go, I think, twice to Pocono.
Yeah.
That is, Pocono's
Yeah.
such a huge, I
And
mean,
it
just,
is rather
it's boring. I mean, it's, what, 2.5 miles?
No.
You can
Need
barely
more
see
short
the
tracks.
back. Yeah. You can barely see the
If
back
you're a
stretch
fan
stuff.
out there, the only thing you can watch is the doggone big screen.
Yeah.
Other than that, or have yourself phone in front of you and watch it on local TV.
Exactly. It's like,
It might not be a bad idea if they took Dover or took Pocono and about a quarter of a mile past the start-finish line, cut a new track
oh, that would be good.
around behind the garage, behind the pits, and come in over at turn
that's-
3
Yeah.
and have like a mile and a quarter
That would be awesome.
flat, a
Yeah,
flat
yeah,
mile,
that'd be
something different.
Yeah.
Now, the Indy cars like the big track. Well, fine. Keep on going.
Yeah.
You don't need to turn in.
Right. Because they're,
What about a dirt track? You gonna go to Eldora?
Eldora's best fit because they've got everything, or
Knoxville.
Knoxville.
But see, the problem with Knoxville is NASCAR doesn't want to go to any venue where the teams can't fly in their planes.
oh, right.
Yeah, they would have to.
They've gotten so snooty that you don't want to fly into Des Moines and have to ride
2
an hour in a
hours.
van to get there.
Yeah.
Well, they have helicopters.
Well,
Well,
they
the-
still have their
The
helicopters.
point being, Roger,
Yes, I
they want the
understand.
racetrack and the airport to be
Nearby.
within
Close.
sight of each other, basically.
Like Richmond, yeah. They're,
There's some talk that Michigan may not need 2 tracks. That's a pretty
or
dull
twice,
race.
yeah.
Yeah.
Michigan is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a super speedway.
And there's
it's
been a lot
like-
of talk that Mexico City, I'm sorry, that's not right. Forget that. Montreal.
Yeah, the road course up
They
there.
want to go to Montreal on the road course where the F1 and the Indy cars run.
Yeah.
Because NASCAR, the new president, which is the 3rd president in recent years, he wants NASCAR to be looked at as an international series, not just
Not just,
American
yeah.
or North American.
I mean, they do have NASCAR over in Europe, but that's the
Yeah.
NASCAR Euro
Right.
series.
As Sean said, Pocono will be better with the new aero package and taper space. Cliff? Oh, I'm not excited.
Already told me.
Let's talk racing.
Hey guys, it's Cliff Daniels. How are you?
Hi, Cliff. How are you?
Doing pretty well.
Good, good. Yeah, Roger warned you. I'm all excited. Talk to you.
That's awesome.
He's like, at least somebody is. Oh,
Well, see, I'd be glad to talk to Cliff but I don't think I'll get the answer to the questions that I'm gonna ask. So.
Well,
You couldn't hurt to throw them out.
No, I don't want to put him on the spot.
Exactly.
Well, we won't tell anybody.
I don't
That would
want.
highly depend on the questions.
I don't want to put him on the spot.
Yeah, well, of course not. We won't put you on the spot. We'll ask, but
Yeah, you will put him on the spot.
well, okay. Well, everybody, we're talking to Cliff Daniels, the car engineer for my favorite driver, Jimmy Johnson, as he well knows. I've talked to Cliff. We have talked to Cliff several times. So, what happened last week in Dover? Tell us what is going on with that. What happened with that right front?
So Moog is the supplier of ball joints that NASCAR has used for years and years and years. Anybody who's been around the sport forever knows that we use Moog ball joints, and they are exclusive to the Cup Series for, I guess, the whatever sponsorship, whatever agreement NASCAR has with Moog. Those are the only ball joints that we are allowed to use. Moog never has any failures, ever. Never have any problems. And it just so happens that I think I don't know that we've actually narrowed it down to a batch number yet or what all the specific details are. But it was a brand new ball joint to start the weekend. And I guess just through running and practice and, well, we didn't get to qualify, but through practice and everything else, there was just enough load and stress on it that it fractured. And it just so happens that right when we were going out to make the parade laps, as Jimmy was going up on the banking, it stressed it just a little bit more, and the fracture turned into a failure, and it just broke. And then later in the race, very unfortunate for the 14 car, they had one same exact situation, basically the same looking fracture, everything. Theirs actually broke on the left front. So two on the same day. Again, highly odd and unusual for Moog because they have been such a reliable supplier of this part for so long that we never expected.
Amazing.
Right.
Something get left loose, did something else break, and we looked down, and it was the stud of the ball joint broke in half. Like, holy cow!
Wow.
Yeah, I think right front, Cliff, seems somewhat understandable. Boy, left front, you wouldn't suspect that, would you?
Yeah, you wouldn't suspect it, but the more research that we've done on it, just the way the hardness of the surface came out on this particular batch on the actual stud of the ball joint itself, that it was pretty susceptible to getting very small fractures just under loading. And obviously, we all know there's a lot more load on the right front at Dover than there is left front, but it was just prone to failure the way that this batch came out anyways. And we actually had one fail a couple weeks back just in a test car in a lab situation, and we thought it was just a freak thing, didn't really think that there was anything going on with the batch, and it was not under a whole lot of loading itself either. So once we obviously had the problems this weekend and the 14 had their problems, it's like, all right, well, there's a much bigger issue here. And obviously we've been in contact with Moog and NASCAR and trying to get to the bottom of it.
So I like how you say, it's the batch. So, bad batch. I mean, bad batch. How dare them?
Well,
it happened.
At least, Cliff,
Weird.
at least you guys are making news.
Yeah, exactly.
2 weeks in a row, you're all over the media. You've given us a lot to write about, but
Yes.
Oh, for sure. There's a lot going on. And,
Yes.
and the crazy thing was, and this sounds terrible to say, but Chad and I looked at each other after the race, and we both agreed that we were happy, actually, that the ball joint broke when it did, because obviously the car was not at speed. Jimmy just calmly drove it back to the pits. Had that failed at speed, that really, really could have done obvious tremendous damage to the race car. But more than that, we, were worried about Jimmy's safety. So the fact that it happened when it did under the parade lap kept our driver from getting hurt and kept our car from getting crashed. So
That's true.
And any other possible
And in the
scenarios.
other, right, in getting somebody else.
Yeah, and anything else, true. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing.
when we first began the program, Cliff, we were not joking. We were just kind of speculating on whether the tipping point with Chad and Jimmy going separate ways was at the last lap at Charlotte or the first lap at Dover. It's just so ironic. It's just so ironic. My contention last week, and I'll tell you right up front, my contention a week ago was that if Jimmy had finished second, made the playoffs, and kept going, that would have been the wise thing to do. Other people have beat on me for a week saying the idea is to win, not finish second. Shut the hell up. That's not why you don't drive. Well, I understood that. But from what I later learned, that most of the crew, or maybe all the crew, was completely in agreement that going for the win at Charlotte was the right thing to do.
And I stand firm with the rest of the crew.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Everybody.
We talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we talked about it a lot, and even in our debrief, I can't remember if it was that Monday or that Tuesday, Jimmy was in the shop, and, we're doing our normal 2-hour debrief in our office, and we talked through all the scenarios, right? And to go for the win, obviously, is a risk, and it's 50-50. There is truly only one letter difference between 0 and 0. If he completes the pass and there's no contact or light contact or whatever, now not only do you have a win, you go to the next round with extra points, with a lot of momentum, with a lot of strength. So plenty of upsides to that. The downside is obviously what we saw play out. And there was actually some guys that came up to me, more just curious kind of what the crew's thoughts were after the race. And they're like, hey, man, why didn't we just finish second and, take the points and go to the next round? And it was a group of guys, and I looked at all of them, and I said, raise your hand right now if you got in the sport to finish second. Under any circumstance, under any situation, tell me if you got in the sport to finish second. And everybody's like, damn, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So, I meet any racer who's happy to finish second for points, and I would argue that's probably not much of a racer.
Yep, you're right. I agree. We have 2 racers right here, and nope, we want to win.
And I'm not one of them.
It's all right, Al.
You're second. You should have been first.
And the other thing too, for Jimmy's situation, right? To have the 15, 17 years that he's been, at such a high level of competition in the sport, and it, it's so obvious how disappointing our season has been, from performance to just bad luck and freak things happen. He's in a situation where he's been pressuring himself.
Yeah.
Is it me? And the media is asking, does Jimmy, when's Jimmy going to retire? And does he still have the fire that he's always had? And I think he really made a statement and answered the question. Of course, he still has the fire, and he's going to go for the win. And he didn't stick it in there and bumper to bumper, cheap shot, knock Truex out of the way. Right? He went for a hole and messed up his braking point and happened to spin himself trying to avoid, any type of cheap shot on Truex. I mean, heck, we didn't even touch Truex until we were backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
So he was really going for it, and it didn't stick. So
right. And Jimmy's a true champion, and he did so well with the media afterwards, and he holds his own, and I just have my hat's off to him. He always holds his composure.
You just want to hug him to console him.
Of course I do. That's why he's just he's one of the best drivers out there. And you just have to, go with it. You have your bad times, and you have your good years and your bad years.
Because I'm pretty much sure just about any driver. Sean Beluza, by the way, said if he was been there, he'd have gone for it.
And
too.
he would have gone for another driver. So,
he's won 10 championships.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Right.
Cliff, I will not mention the driver's name because I don't want to embarrass him. But he drives number 11. He's from Chesterfield. He got out of his car after Charlotte.
Oh.
Absolutely cut a beeline to the hauler. Would not speak to anybody. The media is chasing him. First time he's ever missed a playoff. And he absolutely acted like a complete ass. Whereas your guy stood there, leaned against his car, and answered every question that was brought to him. When that bunch of reporters left, a new group came in. They asked the same questions. He could not have been more cooperative, more professional. He could not have been any better to work with than he was at Charlotte Sunday. And the other guy, whom I'm not too mad about not making the next round, the other guy took off with a hauler, wouldn't even talk to his PR lady, wouldn't talk to anybody. So your guy has, your guy's got that going for him.
He does. And the one thing that I'll add to that, because first off, imagine how hard that had to have been for Jimmy. You know, he knew that we were on the edge of making the cutoff or not, right? He knew that. So the wise play is to back off and finish second and say, oh man, you know, whatever. But that wasn't the mentality that he had at any point. That's not why he straps himself in a race car at any point. So clearly, to even be in that situation, the adrenaline was high. I'm sure the emotion was high. He gets out of the car, like you guys just said, he handled himself the way he did. But what I thought was really cool, and what I was going to add to that, is it wasn't long after the race had ended, you know, things had kind of settled out. By the time everybody was going back home, he had reached out to Truex and just like, hey, man, I hope you know that I'm really disappointed with the result, you know, for you and your guys. Obviously, you had a shot to win, and I took you out of that. I hope you understand I was just going to fill the hole. I had no intentions of making contact with you. I didn't even know that I hit you until I was backwards. You know, sorry I ruined your day, and please tell your crew, sorry I ruined their day. You know, that was day of the race, right when Jimmy could have gone home and frankly could have pouted about not making the playoffs or the next round of the playoffs. And when he told us that on Monday, how he and Truex had talked after that point and what he said and reached out, I'm sitting thinking, man, this guy, what a champ.
Yeah.
You know, what a pro.
Amazing.
Like,
yeah. That's pretty cool. You just can't ask for any better than that. And the news that came out today, you want to share about that?
What news?
What news?
I think he probably knows.
Is there any news that you can share today that came out in the media that you would like to give us?
I don't know that there's, other than what came out in all the press releases, I don't know that there's a whole lot that I can even add at this point.
Yeah.
You know, Hendrick Motorsports and what they're going to do to structure the teams and, you know, move forward with this new plan. And obviously Chad on the 24 in 2019, Kevin Mindering on the 48 in 2019. I would imagine there's still quite a few details to work out. They hit on the high points when they, you know, kind of had the talk with the employees today. And then shortly after the talk with the employees came the press releases, of course, and, you know, media got a hold of it. So the fact that I can't answer questions is probably not surprising, and I doubt that they themselves can even answer, you know, the rest of the questions. Just give us some time to get people organized and get things sorted out and make it all happen. So that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So this was actually something that did happen rather quickly. It wasn't something they had been talking about before Dover or Charlotte.
Well, no. As far as that goes, it's my understanding. I don't know all the details, but it's my understanding that Rick and Chad and Jimmy have kind of been, you know, in discussion about this for a while. How long a while is? I don't know if it's 2 months, if it's 6 months. I'm really not sure. It was not, when they told us today, it was not anything that was brand new to them. I will say that. They're like, yeah, this is something that has been discussed, it's been thought out, it's been processed, and no, we don't know exactly how we're going to structure the teams, but this is what's going to be best for us and the company moving forward, for the 24 team, for the 48 team, so here's the plan with these key personnel. And we're like, okay, got it, you know.
Of course, yeah.
Cliff, do you expect anything to change between now and Homestead, or will everybody stay put for the rest of the year?
As far as I know, everybody stays put, and blanket statement, just our level of competition has gotten a lot better in the last few weeks. Obviously, the 9 pulled out a great win this weekend. We know the Stewart-Haas cars were strong. They had misfortune. The 9 did a great job capitalizing on that. Believe it or not, I know we didn't put up a single fast lap in happy hour, but of course, Jimmy's great at Dover. We had incredible long run speed in our car. So I was really looking forward to seeing how that was going to play out during the race. Of course, we had our misfortune. So things have definitely been looking up for us just in terms of overall, competition and the level that we're able to compete. So I think the plan is everybody stays put for the rest of the year. We try to help the 88 get to the next round of the playoffs. We try to keep the 9 advancing along as well. Help those guys get set up to be in a good spot, for Homestead. And once we're able to do that, then if we can go for a win ourselves, that's what we're going to do.
All right.
I hope you guys get to stink up the show for everybody else. Make them work for it.
Man, that would be so much fun. So much fun.
Wouldn't it?
We're still preparing to win. Like, some teams I've heard of get knocked out of the playoffs and, just cut short some work days or, not necessarily give up, right? But you change your work ethic. We didn't even load until after 6 o'clock tonight. We're still foot on the gas, trying to make sure that we run well every week for Jimmy. Even though we're not in the playoffs, we still want to win.
Oh, God, yeah. That would be awesome. Well, we would love a win, that's for sure. Well, I would.
Well, they're still going to get to go to the banquet. So.
It doesn't matter. A win is a win.
Yes,
yeah.
win as many as you can. Go for
exactly. Matt, we have a modified driver here, and he got his. Is it your first win
First
at
win of the
Link?
season, yeah.
First win of the season this year, in a 100-lapper and a modified.
it. Racing against Sean.
Yes.
Very good. That's awesome.
Yes.
John, that's
yes.
Man.
Yeah, right.
Guy.
And
Yeah.
Exactly. So he's all smiles. At least see somebody just said smile, Matt. I got him to smile. A win is a good win.
Cliff, let me ask you one last question. It's fair to say that you guys corporately in Childress's crowd, y'all have had a little bit more issue with the Camaro than you expected you'd have. That's pretty much pretty obvious to us. Are you getting better? Are you getting closer?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes to all the above. Yes,
Okay.
We've had issues. The Ganassi guys at the beginning of the year were really aggressive in the areas that we
Forgot
were.
about them.
Nothing illegal, right? But they were just being very aggressive with car setups, with their bodies, things like that. And so they did a good job coming out of the gate strong. But since then, they've not been performing like they were at the beginning of the year. Now on the flip side, us and RCR started off the year behind and slower than what we should have been. But recently, there's been a couple weeks recently where the 3 car has been running in the top 10. At the end of the race consistently. We've had our guys running up front. I do think this week was going to be a really good week for the 48. The Dover, of course, the 9 ran up front all day. The 88 ran in the back of the top 10 all day. So we are, it's hard to get the ship, steered correctly just overnight and snap your fingers. But I think we've come a long ways. Still behind, right? The short house cars are still so good.
Oh God, yeah.
Those guys have done a great job at Ford and everything they've done. So we're still playing a little bit of catch up, but compared to where we were, if we were firing on 6 cylinders before, we're up to 7.5 at least. I'd say.
Yeah, it seems like is Jimmy driving the car like not the Camaro, but like he did before. I know he always liked it loose, and it seems like he seems to be driving the Camaro a little bit loose, and that's why he tends to spin a lot. Is that kind of the case? Because it seems like the other Camaros have it going on. They seem to be more steady.
Jimmy, blanket statement, does like a looser setup, a freer mechanical balance. Times that we've really struggled, I would say our mechanical balance may not have been horrible, but just the whole combination of what we had going on, kind of lacking in some body areas, and then where we had the mechanical setup tuned to that just wasn't the right match. So we've come a long ways on the aero side of things, getting the balance where we need to be, and of course we've continued to develop and learn what we need to do mechanically to keep it comfortable and drivable and yes, loose, but not like on the edge where
Like
you
too
have
far.
problems.
Yeah,
So his driving style is still very true
it
to
is.
himself, and we've been so far off this year with the Camaro. You know, you're kind of scratching your heads like, all right, which area do we need to work? It's like, well, all of them. So we've kind of had to marry up our mechanical to aero balance a lot. I'd say more difficult than what it's been in years past. You know, with the SS body, it was around for so long. We knew how to tune on it and had a lot of track history with it. This thing was just so new that it was hard for us to get a handle on.
Yeah. Well, it seems to be getting better, obviously, but well, hopefully next season or the rest of this season. Well,
we've still got 5
that's
more races or
still
however many races left to go. Try to get a win and keep that momentum rolling.
Well,
All right, Cliff, we're gonna go ahead and let you get out of here. I'm
Yep.
sure you still got some more work to do.
Oh,
or
yeah.
finally got home to relax.
exactly.
Yep. Well, thanks for having me, guys, and I'll talk to you sometime soon. And
Definitely.
thanks again.
Oh,
All right, Charlie.
we appreciate it.
We'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night. Bye.
Good night.
Oh, jeez. I was thinking about
Up
his
there,
dad for something.
he had Charlie Daniels the whole time. I'm going, it says Charlie, and I'm trying to tell him. That was so funny. I'm going, it says Charlie. And I didn't want to text him. Oh, Lord, that was funny.
All right. Let's.
He just now changed it to Cliff. Oh. I wonder if Charlie,
Stuff happens.
tuned in.
I'll have to.
You'll have
call
to
him
send
and tell him.
Charlie will get a kick
At
out
least
of
I got
that.
Al's right.
Last week he had Al and Caitlin Joyner. He had them all. Oh, he had them all messed up.
I hadn't edited them yet. Anywho, everybody, we'll catch y'all next week on Let's Talk Racing. Hope you enjoyed
Bye.
the show. See ya.
Forgot we were live still.
Yes.
Smile, man.